This is the Insta360 Carbon Fiber selfie stick. Part of me loves it, but most of me hates it. And I want to tell you why, so let's get straight to it. If you're new to this channel, my name is Rich and this channel is dedicated to making 360 easier for everyone so you can have more fun with your 360 camera. The carbon fiber selfie stick is, as you'd expect, a lot lighter than the standard Insta360 selfie stick. But that's not to say the standard was heavy at all, but this one just weighs next to nothing and just feels so lightweight in your hand. It's not pocket size, but it does feel pocket friendly, and you could slip it into your jean pocket or your jacket pocket and it wouldn't be that inconvenient. It's not quite small enough to fit in my favourite portable camera bag, but I could zip it up and have it poking out the side and I'd feel pretty happy to do that. When it's closed, this selfie stick is 25 centimeters long and consists of 3 opening sections. This is compared to the standard selfie stick that's 28 centimeters long when it's closed and has 4 opening sections. The carbon fiber selfie stick is so much narrower when closed, and when open each section is so much thinner than the standard selfie stick, which makes it less likely to appear in your shots. Unfortunately, the handle on the selfie stick has no real grip to it. All you've got is the texture of the carbon fiber, and it's just not as nice to hold as a soft gripped handle. Each section extends by unlocking it and pulling it out. At the maximum length of each section, it's held in place by friction, but the friction only catches at the very end when you extend it. So you can't use the selfie stick at any length you want. It's either completely closed or completely open at 1 section, 2 sections or 3 sections. Because of the way it locks in place with the friction at the end of each section, there's no minor adjustment that you can make in between sections. This isn't necessarily a problem, it's just something you need to be aware of. One thing I absolutely hate about this selfie stick is the locking mechanism. Firstly, the locking mechanism is only used to lock the selfie stick in place when it's completely closed. It doesn't lock off each section. The ability to lock off each section would be really handy, because sometimes with these friction based selfie sticks they can work their way loose, particularly when you're using them on a mountain bike, for example. The other thing I hate about the locking mechanism is that it's reverse threaded. So clockwise is loosen and anti-clockwise is tighten. I think that the reason they've done this is so that you don't use the camera itself and force the camera around to lock the selfie stick into place. You have to lock it using the actual selfie stick itself. But to be honest, it's never really been a problem for me with all the other selfie sticks I've used that are, in my opinion, threaded the correct way around. Our brains over the years have been programmed to tighten things and loosen things a certain way. It's lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. And reverse threaded just does your head in. And sometimes at the shortest length, you screw the camera on clockwise onto the top thread, and because you're screwing it on clockwise you then loosen the selfie stick, and then you tighten the selfie stick, and because the thread is close to the camera you then loosen the camera, and on and on and on. Let me know in the comments, what's the advantage of this reverse thread and do you like the idea of it? Even though it's smaller when closed, there's no significant compromise when the stick is fully open. And fully open, it's 112 centimeters long compared to the 116 centimeters of the standard Insta360 selfie stick. So there isn't much in it at full length, and certainly not enough in it that would make any difference to your shots. When it's fully extended, it still feels really strong and there's no flex in the stick. One feature of the stick which is a great benefit is the fact that the top section can rotate. This can be really useful when the stick is being used as a mount extension arm, because you can easily reposition where the stitch line falls. Closing the selfie stick up is another thing about this stick that I absolutely hate, because it isn't easy to close the selfie stick up without it snapping shut and closing on your fingers. You can slowly twist it to close it to prevent it catching your fingers, but this isn't always practical when you're shooting. I found the 2 best ways to close the selfie stick and release each section are to either push it onto your foot or to push it into your body. That way you release the sections without them snapping shut. As with most selfie sticks, this one also has a 1/4 inch thread at the bottom, which allows you to easily attach it to a tripod. It's not quite long enough to get to head height, but it's tall enough that you'll get most of the shots you need when it's mounted on tripod. When fully open, this selfie stick is the perfect length to get the shots you need most of the time in most situations, and I love how lightweight it is. And it's compact enough when shut to not feel too inconvenient. However, it feels like it's been designed by somebody that hasn't used a selfie stick, and it feels like it hasn't been tested before it was released to market. It doesn't tick every box, and it's so frustrating because it actually comes so close to being a really good selfie stick. It needs to be redesigned to make it easier to close and to get rid of that awful reverse lock-in thread. Let me know in the comments what you think about the design of this carbon fiber selfie stick, and if you own it already, would you recommend it? You can watch these two videos next. Please remember to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.